The so-called dirty blood scandal of the 1980s was one of the biggest medical blunders in the history of the NHS. Thousands of people contracted HIV and hepatitis C after being given transfusions with infected blood from drug users in America. Look East has been following the story of two people from Northamptonshire who were diagnosed with hepatitis C. Since the scandal, they've been fighting to receive treatment and compensation. Well, tonight, some good news. Here's Stuart Ratcliffe.
These are the spoils of Susan Wathen's long battle. This drug offers her a 96% chance of a full recovery, but her long fight has left a bitter taste in her mouth.
It was almost given grudgingly and I'd had to fight for it. And I don't think I should have had to fight. I think it should have been given to me and other people who were in the same position as me without having to fight for it.
Susan was refused treatment twice. She was told her health hadn't deteriorated enough to qualify. But still, Susan's success doesn't necessarily mean fellow sufferers will also receive the same treatment.
One of the things that I'm very keen to do is to raise this issue again on the floor of the House of Commons at Health Questions in the coming weeks, to ask the Minister whether this will be a forerunner case, essentially, so that other people who are in a similar situation can access this treatment. And I know that there were 2 or 3 other cases along with Sue's that received a positive outcome through these appeals, which is a really important step forward. But there is clearly a lot of work still to do to make sure that the victims of contaminated blood are able to access the treatments that they desperately need.
The hospital trust which assessed Susan said treatment is based on clinical eligibility criteria determined by NICE guidelines and NHS England. But many feel those guidelines don't take into account the unique situation of people affected by the dirty blood scandal. Matthew Harris was also given contaminated blood. He'll start treatment in the summer, but says this scandal still casts a long shadow.
We are still fighting to this day for full and a fair compensation package. I know of families that have, lost partners, husbands, etc., and even families that have been separated because they've lost their loved ones, so they've had to go into care. So this has really affected a lot of people in a deep way. But as for an apology, nothing really that you could write home about.
And it's for that reason many people who unknowingly contracted Hep C and HIV say some battles may have been won, but the fight for compensation, universal treatment and a full apology still goes on. Stuart Ratcliffe, BBC Look East.